I normally start with drawings or models. I think those are a really important way for me to work out my ideas. Sometimes models are easier because if I have the form, the pieces, then I can sort of play around with how they fit together. There's an order. There's definitely a system or a process that I go through. It's not all intuitive or just going with the flow. I think sometimes I'm able to do that, but for the most part, I really have to sit down and think about why I'm making the decisions I am. So it is pretty systematic. The art that I really enjoy looking at and the aesthetic that I'm really drawn to is, that minimalist, tight-edged, clean, geometric shapes from the 60s and 70s. Those are really important. Artists like David Smith and Ronald Bladen. Richard Serra obviously is a big influence. I really like large-scale work. I feel like it has to have some sort of physicality with the viewer. It has to either be the viewer's scale or bigger, for a lot of pieces, in order to have the impact that I want, or in order to portray the impact or the feeling that I get. I've tried working small before, and it just sometimes doesn't seem to work out. My dad gives me a really hard time about my work sometimes because it's so heavy. I work with concrete, and sometimes it's on the bigger side, and he'd always say if two people can pick it up, it's not big enough. In high school, I worked at the tire factory, changing tires on cars and stacking old used tires and emptying garbage cans and cleaning tools and stuff like that. And so that was a pretty fun and interesting environment to be in. The smells, you're dirty all the time, just caked in rubber and dirt. A couple weeks ago, this person saw me in passing and was talking to me about the work that I've been doing with the tires and the rubber. Said that it was very erotic, and that's something that I never ever really intended my work to be, or ever thought of it as being. I guess inherently the materials that I did use were that. That was really interesting to me because it's so far from, it's not what I'm about.